Nuclear Throne turns 10 years old this year, so you know what that means. Time to make a comprehensive guide video to a decade-old game. For fans of bullet hell roguelike top-down shooters, because why not get niche in our game genres, Nuclear Throne stands as a cornerstone of that genre. So though it's an older title, every game that follows is inevitably measured against that standard it sets. Like other games in the genre, the concept is simple. Move, shoot, keep moving, and keep shooting until you reach the goal. In this case, claim the Nuclear Throne. But Nuclear Throne is easily the hardest roguelike I've ever played. It offers no hand-holding and very little guidance, just chaos. You're going to be constantly asking, what the f*** is this, and what the f*** is that, and how the f*** does any of this go? Ah! The wiki is very helpful for this, but if reading isn't your thing, then maybe this video will be, as it aims to be a comprehensive guide to Nuclear Throne. What is all this comprehensive knowledge?
Okay, well, you know what? Why don't you crack an egg analogy all over me?
Okay,
can I start? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll start off with a simple and quick primer of the game, how it progresses, how to strategize your run, and a few tips and tricks that I wish I knew starting out. Then we'll dive into secret levels and then unlockable characters and their abilities. After that, we'll explore alternative modes and ways to play, followed up at looking at rare weapons and how to find them. Finally, I'll show you how to mod the game, so you can play online multiplayer and customize it even further. Quick note on the footage of this video though, some of it is 4:3, some of it is in widescreen. That's because Nuclear Throne by default ships by 4:3, but I've modded the game to run in 16:9. So if you do buy a copy of Nuclear Throne and it doesn't look exactly like this, don't worry, it's all normal. Anyways, that's the roadmap, so let's kick this puppy from neutral into first gear by talking about Nuclear Throne and how to approach the game. When you first play Nuclear Throne, you go through a short and brief tutorial. Afterwards, you're expected to survive or die without any additional guidance. So here's a little bit of a heads up of what to expect. The progression in Nuclear Throne is straightforward. Move through a series of areas, each made of randomly generated levels, and the difficulty ramps up as you go. Some of these areas feature unique bosses, but the core formula stays the same. Clear all the enemies and move forward. The ultimate goal? Reach the Nuclear Throne. With that goal in mind, good luck and don't fuck it up.
Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
Now that we have the bones of a framework in mind, let's put some meat on them bones with some details. You start off in the desert level 1-1 with a few enemies. Once you unalive them all, a black hole-esque portal will spawn and pull you to take you to the next desert level, 1-2. The desert area is composed of 3 levels, 1-1, 1-2, and 1-3. The final level of the first area features a boss called Big Bandit. He bursts through a wall after you defeated about 10% of the enemies in 1-3 and has 2 attacks. A bullet barrage aimed at the player and a charge that plows through walls straight towards you. After you defeat him and the rest of the enemies on 1-3, you go to the sewers. The sewers has 1 level, 2-1, and has a rat, frog, and crocodile-like enemies. Also, as a bit of advice, kill the big green rats before they spawn too many little rats. After clearing out the sewers, you'll enter the scrapyard level, which has levels 3-1, 3-2, and 3-3. Watch out for the new enemies, especially the Raven, which can fly over walls and sneak up behind you. You may need to double back if they get too little tricksy hobbitsy on you. Like the desert, the final scrapyard level features a boss. This time, it's Big Dog, a giant sleeping robot. Triggering him wakes the beast up and will either spin in place firing slow spiral bullets or launch homing missiles. I really enjoy this boss battle, even though it does tend to sometimes be a little short. It really nails the modern bullet hell vibe, forcing you to weave between shots, and once it's over, a portal takes you to the next area, the Crystal Caves. The Crystal Caves serve as a brief transition area composed of just 1 level. Watch out for the laser crystal, it deals out a massive amount of damage with a slow charging fixed position laser. Normally easy to dodge, but the spider web covered floor can slow you down and leave you exposed. Navigate carefully, clear the level, and then reach the Frozen City. The Frozen City area is composed of the levels 5-1, 5-2, and 5-3, with new enemies and slippery icy floors. By now you probably know the pattern. Eventually get to 5-3 and it's boss time. Enter Little Hunter. Remember how I loved Big Dog? Well, I hate Little Hunter. About 7 seconds into the level, he dive bombs you out of nowhere, and when he lands, he causes a ring of blue flames. He will occasionally try to retreat back to the skies to do this dive bomb attack again. He can also fire out fast bullet streams or bouncing shots in your direction. Oh, and he summons IDPD portals too, so just be ready to clear out the minions before they overwhelm you. After taking enough damage, Little Hunter's jetpack malfunctions and he spirals out of control, crashing into a wall and exploding. With him gone and out of the way, you can leave the frozen city and enter the final transition level, which is the labs, 6-1. The labs are dark, eerie, and full of freak enemies. Some explode, some are tanky, some are just freaky.
Oh, well then, this is starting to make a lot more sense. Hey, you are a freak! I know!
But watch out for the necromancers, because they can resurrect fallen enemies into more freaks. Clear the labs and you'll reach the palace, the 7th and final standard area in the core Nuclear Throne run. Levels 7-1 and 7-2 feature medium-sized rooms linked by tight corridors. The enemies here are fun but tough. The Guardian's fire patterns that make it great for dodging and weaving moments, but as a warning, the dog Guardian may look slow, but it pounces fast and hits hard. It's got a ton of health too, so take out these little doggies before they become a problem.
Get along, little doggies, you know that Wyoming will be your new home.
Moving to the final level of the palace, level 7-3, places you in the Nuclear Throne room. You'll walk along red carpet towards a skeleton figure sitting on the throne. And remember how I mentioned the main objective of the game was get to the Nuclear Throne? Well, surprise, motherfucker! The throne just isn't for reaching and sitting on, it's its own full-fledged boss battle that you'll need to defeat. You'll start this battle by knocking off or shooting or whatever the bones sitting on the throne, causing the throne to fire a massive laser from its center cannon. If you're standing on the red carpet, that beam will almost certainly kill you, so yeah, please do not stand there. After that, the throne grows legs and cycles through a series of attacks. The deadly beam attack, a green orb attack, which explodes and sometimes leaves ammo or mini health packs, and a triple shot mounted from its turrets. Keep chipping away at its massive 1500 HP pool, and once it explodes, you'll get the game's earliest and simplest endings. So that's the high-level picture, but here's some tips and advice that I want to give you before we move on that I wish I knew when I first started playing Nuclear Throne and had to learn the hard way. Number 1, the portal will take you regardless if you're ready or not. After killing the last enemy, the portal to the next area does not wait for you. It doesn't care if you haven't explored the rest of the map or left behind items or chests. It often spawns so close that you'll get sucked in before you have time to react. So keep a rough count of the enemies left. Once things feel safe, backtrack and grab anything you missed before clearing the last few enemies out. Number 2, ammo drops change in response to the guns you're holding. Don't be a dingus like me that thought this ammo icon gave you just one type of ammo. It can actually drop any of the 5 ammo types: energy, explosive, bolt, shell, or bullet. The type you get depends on the type of guns that you're holding. For example, if you've got a crossbow and a shotgun, there's a 50-50 chance to either get bolts or shells. If one of your weapons is a melee weapon or you're maxed out on a certain type of ammo, the odds shift. Say you got a wrench and a crossbow, now there's a 60% chance of getting bolts and a 40% chance of another type. The conspiracy theorist in me swears that there are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, the idea that I'm trying to get across is that your weapons equipped influence the type of ammo that drops. Third tip here from Old Jellyfish is to pick up your radiation. It's easy to play safe, peek out, shoot from behind your cover, rack up a couple kills, hide, and repeat. This will clear a level, sure, but if you're not collecting little green radiation blobs that drop from enemies, you're going to be missing the main point. Those rads are your XP. Collect enough of them and you'll level up and get a mutation at the start of the next level. Mutations are permanent buffs, extra ammo capacity, contact damage, and so on. There's a ton of them and there's a lot of good videos already out there, so I'm not going to go too far into the details. But I will say 2 things really specifically about mutations. First, there's a mutation called Throne Butt. It boosts your character's active ability. For example, if you're playing as Fish, his roll becomes a water boosted version. Every character's butt does something different, so yeah, check out the wiki for more details. One final note on mutations are about ultra mutations, which are powerful character-specific abilities unlocked at level 10 after gathering enough rads. Again, if you want more info, I would check out the wiki. Bottom line is mutations are vital and you need to get them, so you need to be picking up these rads before they vanish. Don't just kill enemies, grab their rads too. Number 4, don't be sentimental about your gun. As you progress through Nuclear Throne, more guns get added to the loot pool, and they get stronger. The early game crossbow might have served you well, but the later levels bring tougher enemies and better weapons, so don't get too sentimental. Expect to swap out your load regularly as you move forward. Number 5, watch out for stuff that explodes. Some enemies self-destruct, either on death or by charging at you. Think the scrapyard level snipers, the Frozen City snow tanks, or the lab's explosives. Annoying for sure, but what's even more frustrating is explosive props. I've lost count of how many runs I've ended because I've swung a melee weapon and accidentally hit a car. So be careful, cars, barrels, and generators can all explode and they will ruin your day if you're too close. So that's a pretty solid primer and foundation of Nuclear Throne. And now that you have the general idea of what you'll be doing and you know what to expect on each level and have a handful of tips and advice to get you through things, with this knowledge, I am confident that you, yes you, have what it takes to defeat Nuclear Throne. But what's that? You want more?
Please, sir. I want some more.
Well then, let's start cracking up some unlockable secret bonus content. The first group of secret and unlockable content that I'm going to be talking about are the secret levels. Now that we've gone over the basic levels of Nuclear Throne, the desert 1-1, 1-2, and 1-3, the sewers 2-1, and the scrapyards 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, the crystal caves 4-1, and the frozen cities 5-1, 5-2, and 5-3, also the labs 6-1, and the palace 7-1, 7-2, and you guessed it, 7-3, we now have the foundations covered. So let's dive into the hidden levels, starting with the earliest one, the Oasis. You can access the Oasis from the desert by opening both chests, weapon and ammo, and the radiation canister, all without killing any enemies. Once you open the last item, Big Bandit spawns and you have 10 seconds to take him down. Do it in time and a special portal appears on his corpse, clearing any enemies remaining. Miss the window and a regular portal just sends you to the sewers, no matter what desert level you're on. Quick rewind though, avoiding killing enemies is key here. I've seen conflicting information online. Some say that you need to leave at least 3 alive, others say it's a percentage of enemies that you need to keep alive, but honestly, just don't kill any of them to be safe. It's not as hard as it sounds, trust me, these bandits aim like stormtroopers. Once you enter the Oasis, you'll find yourself in an underwater level with unique fish and crab enemies. It'll also bring along a sharp spike in difficulty. A few things to know though is that lightning weapons hit everything on the screen including you, and fire weapons don't work at all, so stick to the bullets and melee weapons if you can. Clear the level and you'll be taken straight into 3-3, the final scrapyard level, skipping the sewers and most of the scrapyard entirely. The sewers, though, have an entrance to its own secret level called the Pizza Sewers, so let's back up a bit and talk about how to get there. Within the sewer levels, you'll find a manhole cover, and then you'll need to use an explosive weapon or item to blow it up, and that'll trigger a portal into the Pizza Sewers. The Pizza Sewers are a short, weird, and awesome little level. It has just 5 enemies, 4 turtles, and a rat, an homage to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and even the health pickups are pizza slices. Another fun fact is that each turtle's dialogue when they die sound like, which are the colors of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. To reach our next secret level, head to the scrapyards and look for a golden red car. If you've got the screwdriver melee weapon, hit the car to repair it, and once fixed, interact with it to open a portal to YV's mansion. Inside, you'll face enemies inspired from Von Beer's earlier game, Gun Gods. They're tough, but in this area you'll also find a golden weapon chest, which will contain a random golden weapon. Gold weapons are basically buffed versions of the standard weapon, but with better stats and cooldowns. What makes golden weapons additionally awesome though is that if you pick one up and then finish a level with it, you'll unlock it as an alternate starting weapon for that character, making future runs a little bit more easy. Now the following hidden level we're going to talk about becomes available in the Frozen City 5-1, but only if you have the Last Wish mutation. If you enter 5-1 with Last Wish, a frozen corpse flower will appear somewhere on the level. Interact with it 4 times, with each time costing you 1 HP, and a portal will open to the jungle.
I've given you sunlight, I've given you rain. Looks like you're not happy, unless I open a vein.
Entering the jungle removes Last Wish from your mutation list, but adds it back to the mutation pool, and before continuing, you'll get to pick a new mutation from that updated pool. Then, welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle!
Here, you'll face hyper-aggressive bandits, bush-hiding assassins, and giant flies that spit maggots. Clear the area, and a portal will take you straight to 5-3 of the Frozen City. Next up are Crown Vaults, a cool secret area you might have stumbled into by accident. They're hidden mini-levels which you can gain access to by finding proto-statues on a standard stage. And if you deal 40 damage to activate one of these proto-statues, they'll start absorbing nearby radiation. Once fully charged by the rads of enemies that you've dropped near them, you can shoot it again to break them open for a green portal to spawn and take you to the Crown Vault. Quick aside, if you deal too much damage to the statue before it's fully charged, you won't get access to the Crown Vault, but you will get whatever rads is absorbed back to the ground. Once in the Crown Vault for the first time, there will be no enemies and just a crown pedestal. Interact with it to choose one of 6 crowns. Each crown offers a gameplay benefit and a trade-off. There's a lot of debate online about which is the best crown, but really I think they all make the game a little bit harder in different ways, so just pick your poison or skip it entirely if you want to play it safe. After you choose, a portal sends you to the next level. And if you're wearing a crown and then defeat the Nuke of the Throne, that crown becomes unlocked as a starting option for future runs. So they're more than just a mid-run gimmick. You can also visit the Crown Vaults up to 3 times. Proto-statues will stop spawning after your 3rd visit. So it is possible to enter a Crown Vault already wearing a crown. And doing this will have enemies spawn from vault statues once you activate the pedestal. Defeating these extra guardian enemies will give you a portal to exit the Crown Vault and on to your next level. Also, on your 2nd and 3rd visit to Crown Vaults, keep an eye out for the Proto Chest. The first time you open one, it holds a rusty revolver. Nothing special, but the real power here is in swapping one of your own weapons into it. Once you leave a weapon in the Proto Chest, it will be saved across runs, modes, and characters. So you could stash a rocket launcher in hard mode and then grab it in the co-op mode on normal. So that's Crown Vaults, and they matter here because they're key to unlocking the next secret level, which is the Cursed Crystal Caves. To access the Cursed Crystal Caves, you need to enter the portal into level 4-1, the Crystal Caves, while holding a cursed weapon. So how do you get a cursed weapon? Through crowns. Once you're wearing one, there's a 1 in 7 chance that a regular chest will be replaced with a cursed chest. If you're really looking for cursed chests though, you should pick up the Crown of Curses, which increases this chances to 2 out of 3. Once spawned, cursed chests contain cursed weapons. These weapons use unique cursed ammo and most importantly cannot be dropped until they're cleansed. There's a lot of nuances about cursed gear, but let's not spiral into another tangent. Here's the key chain of logic. To enter the Cursed Crystal Caves, you need a cursed weapon. To get a cursed weapon, you need a cursed chest. And to get a cursed chest, you need a crown. And to get a crown, you need to get to the Crown Vault. And to open the Crown Vault, you need to find and activate proto-statues. Got it memorized?
Got it memorized?
Once you've arrived to the Cursed Crystal Caves, they feature cursed versions of enemies, like the Cursed Crystal Spiders and the Cursed Laser Crystal. They look like their regular counterparts, but come with extra abilities that make them tougher to handle. One cool perk of this level though is that it always contains a large cursed weapon chest which is packed full of cursed weapons. And that, in a nutshell, is the cursed terms of service for getting into the cursed crystal caves. Now let's shift gears into one of the more unique secret levels, the campfire, which is the gateway to what is called a looped run. So what's a looped run, and how do I get to the campfire? Well, during the final boss fight against Nuke Throne, there are 4 large generators, 2 on each side of the hallway arena. If you destroy all 4 generators before defeating the Nuke Throne, then you'll skip the normal ending. Instead of sitting on the throne, a loop portal appears and takes you to the campfire, the place where your run begun and your ran began. Only now it's unsettling and dread-soaked with all the other playable characters laying dead on the ground. Additionally, after entering, 4 IDPD portals appear which spawn enemy units. Defeat these enemies and you move on to face the throne boss again, but this time in its final form. Taking down this ultimate boss will officially loop your run, which teleports you back to the Desert 1-1 while keeping all your items and mutations. From here, you'll replay the game in looped versions of each area. These loops come with bigger changes, which include more enemies and more enemy types, higher enemy HP, looped exclusive bosses, your pickups will disappear faster, golden and ultra weapons spawn more, and crown vaults now have a different set of crowns. Basically, everything ramps up fast. Looping, as it turns out, matters for our final secret area, the IDPD headquarters. That's because one of the new enemies introduced during the loop runs are the IDPD bands. They teleport through massive portals and start unloading waves of officers. If you're quick, you can destroy a van before it spawns enemies. But to access this next secret area, you actually want to walk up to one and press E. This will cause you to interact with it and open a portal to the infamous IDPD HQ. Now this isn't just one secret area, it's actually a full area composed of 3 levels, HQ1, HQ2, and HQ3. The first 2 are gauntlets, which are randomly generated maps, while the HQ3 is a fixed boss arena. Who's in the final arena? The captain. You can find her calmly sitting at her desk, and to kick things off, you give her a hit and the battle begins. She'll charge directly at you, smashing through walls and terrain. After that, she teleports and fires explosive bullets, and eventually enters the final stage where she stays stationary and unleashes projectiles in patterns and arcs of bullets. Once you defeat her, your run ends, regardless of how many loops you've done, and you'll be greeted with the message, the struggle is over. And yes, for all you completionists out there, this is the true ending of Nuke Throne. And with that, that's all the secret levels in Nuke Throne. Kinda dense to get through, right? So let's pivot to something that's a little bit more bite-sized and easy to digest. Secret and unlockable characters. Let's cover some basic starter characters first and then jump into the unlockable characters next. Each playable character has a unique health pool, passive ability, and active ability that sets them apart. When you first start the game, you'll have 2 characters unlocked by default. The first being Fish. Fish is my favorite, obviously, because he plays guitar. He starts with 8 health and his passive lets him carry extra ammo, and he picks up more ammo from chests than other characters. His active ability is Roll, but as a heads up, it is not a dodge roll. So no invincibility frames, but it's great for mobility. And for you completionists out there, Fish's alternative B-skin unlocks once you loop the game once with every character. The second character you get for free is Crystal. Her passive gives her more starting HP than most characters, but it's her active ability that makes her a fan favorite. Crystal can create a temporary shield that blocks incoming damage, either by reflecting bullets or absorbing them. The catch? The shield lasts only a short time and she can't move while it's active. Plus, certain types of damage like melee attacks can break through. Even with these limitations though, her shield ability is really, really good. To unlock Crystal's alternative B-skin, reach the Cursed Crystal Caves while playing as her. Alright, with all the starters out of the way, let's jump into the unlockable characters. Who they are, what they do, and how to get them. That's a lot to cover, so let's buckle up.
Buckle up, bonehead, because you're going for a ride.
The first unlockable character is Eyes, and you can get them by reaching the sewers level. Eye's passive give them a better ability to see in the dark levels like the sewers, crystal caves, and the labs. Their active ability is telekinesis, which slows enemy projectiles and pulls enemies and objects towards them. Because of this ability, Eyes is particularly good with melee weapons, since you can pull enemies towards you from behind a wall and land hits more easily. To unlock Eyes' B-skin, just reach the pizza sewers while playing as them. Next up is the character known as Melting.
I've heard worse excuses to drink.
Oops.
I'm melting! Oh, who would have thought a small amount of liquid would ever fall on me?
Well, no point letting her go to waste.
You can unlock by dying at least once. Melting is a bit of a glass cannon. They start off with only 2 HP, but in return they gain more radiation from pickups than other characters. Their active ability allows them to explode corpses, which can destroy nearby projectiles and deal damage to enemies. To unlock their B-skin, you'll need to reach the nuclear throne without picking up the Rhino skin or Strong Spirit mutations. Following up Melting on our list is Plant, who officially joins the battle. You can unlock Plant by reaching the scrapyard area. Their passive ability gives them a higher movement speed, and their active ability fires a vine snare. Once the snare hits a wall, prop, or enemy, it triggers and spawns vines that slow down enemy movement. Most enemies' movements are slowed down so much that they're basically pinned in place, but larger enemies are less effective. To unlock Plant's B-skin, you need to defeat the nuclear throne in under 10 minutes while playing as Plant. Next on the meme U is Young Venus, also known as YV. YV is unlocked by reaching the secret level YV's Mansion, which we've covered earlier in this video. When you're playing as YV, you start off with a golden pistol, and your whole playstyle is centered around high damage output. His passive boosts his rate of fire on all weapons, and his active ability lets him fire his current weapon twice in a single use. If you reach level 10 with YV, you pick up an Ultra mutation which will transport you to another secret area called YV's Crib. There are no enemies here, just a bunch of loot-filled chests and some cars you can either blow up for fun or interact with to move on. To unlock YV's alternative skin, you need to give each character a starting golden weapon. Let's move on to explaining steroids now, who you can unlock when you reach the lab's level. His passive makes all weapons function like automatics. Just hold down the fire button to continually rip and tear through your enemies and your ammo pool. This effect even applies to melee weapons. The trade-off is reduced accuracy and added bullet spread. Steroids is the only character who can dual-wield weapons, starting off with 2 revolvers. If you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, left-click fires the primary weapon and the right-click fires the secondary. Personally, I think Steroids is one of the funnest to play, because there's something satisfying about holding down both of these buttons and just chewing through everybody. Maybe not the most optimal character, but definitely one of the most entertaining. His alternative skin is a bit harder to get, and you'll need to loop as Steroids, reach the labs, and then defeat the loop exclusive boss, the Technomancer. Robot is our next character that we'll cover, and we can unlock him by reaching the Frozen City. Robot's passive gives them a higher tier weapon earlier in your run. We've touched briefly on the drop mechanics before, but let's do a quick recap. Weapon quality is based off your difficulty number, essentially how many portals you've gone through. The more portals you go through, the better the drops. Robot's passive bends this rule and makes it so you can get a next tier weapon one portal earlier, giving you a stronger gear ahead of schedule. Their active ability lets them eat their currently held weapon to gain ammo and or health. To unlock Robot's B-skin, you'll need to eat one of the following: a hyper rifle, a hyper slugger, or a hyper launcher. Now that we've been talking about Robot for a while, it's probably a good time to bring up Robot's chicken. Actually, excuse me, it's just chicken. You can unlock chicken by reaching the jungle level. Her default starter weapon is her chicken sword, which is a pretty decent melee weapon, though her active ability allows her to throw it, or any weapon, to deal damage based off of how many rads she's collected on that run. And if that doesn't already sound like one of the coolest characters in the game, just wait till we get to her passive. When Chicken dies, she doesn't go straight to the death screen. Instead, she loses 2 max HP and then goes into a headless mode for 5 seconds. During that time, if you manage to regain HP, she comes back to life, head fully restored. It's basically a built-in extra life mechanic, and if you can't recover HP in that time, then your game is over. To unlock Chicken's alternative skin, enter the sewers on hard mode while playing as her. I haven't explained hard mode yet, but I will later in this video, so stay tuned and don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial now, we're just getting started.
Moving the spotlight now to Rebel, who we can unlock by defeating the Nuclear Throne 2 boss and looping back to the desert for the first time. Rebel's passive heals her for half of her missing HP every time she enters a portal. Her active ability spends HP to summon allies that follow her around and shoot at nearby enemies. If no allies are currently alive, then the first summon only costs 1 HP. But if you already have an ally, then each new one costs 2 HP. Each of her summons lasts about 20 seconds, but summoning another resets the timer for all of them. Once the timer runs out, or you finish a level, they all vanish. To unlock Rebel's B skin, start a looped run, get to the sewers, and defeat the loop exclusive boss, Mom, while playing as Rebel. Now let's chat about horror. Unlocking them takes a little bit of patience. First, you need to find a radiation canister on any level, but don't open it. Move on to the next stage where you'll spot a larger rads canister. Again, skip it and proceed. On the 3rd level, a canister will burst open and spawn a powerful horror enemy. Defeat it and you'll unlock Horror as a playable character. Horror's passive gives you an extra mutation option whenever you level up, and their active ability fires a radiation beam that consumes rads as ammo. Their beam grows wider with use and destroys enemy projectiles, and any spent rads can be recovered from the defeated enemies. To unlock Horror's B-Skin, start a run as them, loop your game, reach the Loop Crystal Caves, and defeat the Loop exclusive boss, the Hyper Crystal. Our final, normal unlockable character is Rogue, and you can unlock them by defeating the Nuclear Throne and sitting on it. Rogue comes with a mix of passive abilities. Some are helpful, and some are not as helpful. Her less than helpful passive makes it so while playing as her, IDPD enemies will constantly spawn and attack you on every level. Her helpful passive, on the other hand, is that every time Rogue takes damage, she triggers an explosion that hurts enemies and destroys projectiles around her. Her active ability, Portal Strike, calls in 5 powerful explosions. It's great for crowd control and breaking walls, but be careful, it can hurt you too. Rogue starts with 1 strike and can hold up to 3. While playing as her, special blue canisters will drop that act as ammo for these portal strikes. She also begins with her own unique weapon, the Rogue Rifle. To unlock Rogue's B-Skin, play as her, reach the IDPD headquarters, and defeat the true final boss of the game, the Captain. Now wrapping up this chapter of the video, let's look at 2 bonus secret characters that are a bit different from the others. These aren't unlocked through reaching specific levels or beating bosses. Instead, they require you to transform or evolve an existing character mid-run. Let's start with the simpler of the 2, Skeleton. To become Skeleton, you need to start a run as Melting, then reach a level with a Necromancer enemy. They typically show up in the labs, and then die while standing in one of the Necromancer's resurrection circles. If you've done this correctly, you'll revive as Skeleton. Skeleton starts off with 1 HP and a max health pool of 4. They're slow, wildly inaccurate, and considered to have some of the worst starting stats in the game. On top of that, when you transform, you reset to level 1 and lose all mutations. Though you do get to keep your weapons, so that's nice. The upside, Skeleton has a unique active ability called Blood Gamble. It lets you fire your weapon for free, no ammo cost, but with a chance of taking 1 point of damage. The risk of this point of damage happening depends on the weapon. It's calculated by dividing the weapon's ammo cost per shot by the mini ammo chest size. Important note, blood gamble can kill you, so use it wisely. Lastly, because of the nature of Skeleton, they do not have a bee skin. The last bonus character is Frog, and unlocking them is a bit of a process, so you need to follow the 7 steps to transform any character into Frog, and let's just start walking through it, I guess. Step 1, pick any character and loop your run, and then get to the looped version of the sewers. Step 2, there, defeat the loop exclusive boss Mom, but you'll need to do it using a golden weapon. Afterwards, she'll drop a frog pistol when she dies. Step 3, pick up the frog pistol and continue your run until you reach a proto chest. As a reminder, proto chests appear in crown vaults if you enter them while already wearing a crown. Step 4, place the frog pistol in the proto chest. Step 5, finish your run either by dying or defeating the ID-defeating captain. And then step 6, start a new run, find the proto chest again, and you'll see that it has transformed your frog pistol into a golden frog pistol. Pick it up and go through a portal, which will store it as an alternative starting weapon for that character. Step 7, finally start another run and choose that character with the stored golden frog pistol as your starting weapon. When the game begins, you've transformed into Frog. Frog's movement patterns remind me a lot of the old school Snake game. Press a direction key and Frog turns and continually walks in that direction until they hit a wall. The only way to stop his movements is to use Frog's special ability, which forces him to stand still and charge up his active attack. Once you release the charged attack, Frog will expel a toxic cloud that damages all enemies, and the longer you hold the charge, the bigger the cloud. Frog is immune to all toxic effects, including his poison cloud. Once the cloud is released, however, he returns to his snake-like movement pattern. And that's how Frog works. Now, quick note before we wrap things up, Frog and Skeleton do not appear on the campfire selection screen in the normal vanilla version of the game. In my footage, I'm using a mod that makes them selectable like the other characters, and I'll show you how to use mods later in the video. But mod magic aside, this is it. We've officially covered every character in Nuclear Throne. If you've been watching from the start, you've probably heard me mention alternative game modes here and there, especially hard mode. So let's kick off this section by breaking down the game modes in Nuclear Throne, starting with that one. As the name suggests, hard mode is hard. It throws you straight into the deep end. From 1-1, you'll face all the difficulty spikes you would have normally gotten after looping. More enemies, more chaos, everything right out of the gate. To balance that, you'll start off near a large weapon chest that drops 3 weapons, giving you more options to survive early on. To unlock hard mode, you need to loop the game twice in a single run. The next game modes we'll be looking at are daily runs and weekly runs. Daily runs give everyone the same seeded run for the day. So instead of each player getting a different experience, you and your friends can all jump into the same exact run and compare how you did. The catch, though, is you only get one shot. Your performance is scored and submitted to the daily leaderboard after that, and that's it. No do-overs. If you and your squad are a competitive type, then dailies are definitely your jam. After finishing, you can check each other's score and see how you did against your friends, your enemies, or your frenemies. Weekly runs are similar but have a few key differences. Like dailies, they're time limited, active for 1 week, Monday through Sunday, and also use seeded runs with preset loadouts. Your character, weapon, crowns are all fixed. But unlike dailies, you can play weeklies multiple times throughout the week, refining your strategy to get a better score. And yes, there is a weekly leaderboard too, so you can see how your best run stacks up against others. Lastly, Nuclear Throne does offer a local co-op mode where 2 players can play together. Health, weapons, and ammo are all tracked separately, but collective rads, XP, level, mutations, and crowns are all shared. Additionally, in co-op mode, you can revive a dead player, but it costs half of the living player's health. You'll want to do this though, since staying dead for too long drains the surviving player's health. And the surviving character can die from this health drain if the unrevived second player isn't saved in time. There is an online co-op mode that requires some mod magic, which once again I'm going to foreshadow, but promise you I will explain later. And that covers all the game modes in Nuclear Throne. So let's go on to the next chapter here and talk about secret weapons. When I say secret, I mean any gun or melee weapon with a special drop condition. We've already covered one, the frog pistol, but let's do a quick recap for the sake of completeness. The frog pistol is a rusty frog-shaped gun that fires 3 green projectiles in a spread. To get it, you need to defeat the mom boss in the looped sewers while using a golden weapon. To turn it into a golden frog pistol, place the original in a proto chest, and then in a future run, return to that chest to retrieve its upgraded form. So yeah, frog pistol, golden frog pistol, don't frog get it. Next secret weapon is the legendary gun gun. This weapon doesn't fire bullets, it fires guns. More specifically, it shoots out weapons from 10 difficulty levels higher than your current one, making it a great way to snag top tier gear early. Because of that, a lot of players stash it in the proto chest for use in later runs. The gun gun typically starts to drop around loop 1-2 unless you're doing things that affect difficulty scaling, like playing as robot or going through secret levels. But there is one extra unlock condition that you need to be wearing the crown of guns for it to appear. With the crown and a bit of RNG luck, you'll eventually find it. Another secret weapon is Fish's guitar. You'll find it by playing as Fish and entering the campfire, the area right before a loop begins. The guitar is a melee weapon swinging nearly as fast as Chicken's sword and dealing more damage than a sledgehammer. In my book, Fish's guitar is definitely one of the coolest secret weapons in the game. But if you're not really into guitars, then don't worry. There's another secret weapon worth chasing. So stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen.
The black sword is a secret melee weapon you can get by starting a run as Chicken and then just leaving the regular Chicken sword behind on any desert level. If you loop and return to the same desert level, you'll find the black sword laying on the ground. It deals double the damage of Chicken's regular sword and has a faster swing speed. A serious upgrade for melee fans. Next up, the Super Disc Gun. This one can be found in the cursed weapon chests on level 4-1 or later. However, due to a known bug in the U99R1 version of the game, aka the latest PC build as of recording this video, you'll also need to be playing on hard mode and be wearing the crown of guns for this gun to appear. The extra conditions are a bit of a bummer, but once you have it, the Super Disc Gun fires 5 discs in a tight, thick spread. Now for our final 2 secret weapons, the Golden Nuclear Launcher and the Golden Disc Gun, they both share the same unlock conditions. You need to play on hard mode, reach a high enough difficulty rating, usually around 7-2 or 7-3 of the Palace, and then, because of the same U99R1 bug, also be wearing the crown of guns. A girl can dream of these version-specific bugs caused by the U99R1 release being patched out one day. But until then, just be aware of what version your game is running. You can check on the bottom right corner of the game's startup screen. Once obtained, the Golden Disc Gun fires faster than the vanilla version and shoots, no surprise, golden discs. And the Golden Nuclear Launcher launches a massive explosive with a faster reload time than its standard counterpart. Lastly, since both guns are golden, they can be saved as starter weapons on a character's loadout. But before we wrap up this chapter on secret weapons, I want to share a little bit of a strat on getting some of those ultra rare late game guns like the Golden Nuclear Launcher and the Golden Disc Gun. These weapons are hard to get, not just in terms of skill, but also on how heavy the RNG is. So if you're looking for a more manageable way to grab them, here's a method I've picked up from a Steam guide, linked in the description, and the following steps are basically derived from that. So be sure to check it out if you need extra explanation. Step 1, store the gun in a proto chest inside a crown vault. Step 2, start a hard mode run with robot and equip the crown of guns. Step 3, restart your game until your starting weapon chest gives you a wrench. Step 4, clear out 1-1 and level up by collecting enough rats. Step 5, If you don't get the thrown butt mutation from leveling up, restart your run and repeat the prior steps till you do, and then select that mutation. Step 6. Enter the crown vault that spawns on 1-2 in hard mode. Step 7. Kill one proto chest guardian but leave the other alive. Step 8. Pick up the gun from the proto chest. Step 9. Use your wrench to destroy the surviving guardian's projectiles, and that will eventually drop weapons. Step 10. Eat the dropped weapons to refill your ammo. Step 11. Fire the gun and repeat the ammo collecting process until a golden disc gun or golden nuclear launcher appear. This process is definitely more reliable than hoping on random late game drops, but I wouldn't exactly call it easy. Either way, that's the end of this section on unlockable secret weapons in Nuclear Throne. Now let's start the final chapter of this video, which is about multiplayer and how to install mods. In order to get this, you're going to need to set up Nuclear Throne Together, also known on the internet simply as NTT. Before I get too far though, be sure to check out the Nuclear Throne Discord, link in the description, if you ever run into problems installing or using mods. Alright. With that out of the way, step 1 is of course installing the game via Steam. Run the game at least once to get the save files generated properly. Afterwards, go back to a web browser and visit this URL, link also in the description. From that site, download Nuclear Throne Together, and be sure to download the latest stable version. Also, click the same buttons and links as I'm doing here, since if you're not using an ad blocker, some ads are misleading and mimic download links. Afterwards, unzip and open the folder of NTT that you've just downloaded. Once this is done, go back to your Steam client and open the local files of your recently installed Nuclear Throne. You can get there by right-clicking the game in your library, go to Manage, and then browse local files. This file path should be something like Steam Apps Common Nuclear Throne. Then, go back to the unzipped folder which contains the Nuclear Throne Together items that you've downloaded, and move them into the local files at Steam Apps Common Nuclear Throne directory that you've just opened. If it prompts you about duplicating items, go ahead and replace them. If it doesn't, don't stress out and continue on. Next, double-click nttassemble.exe. It'll open up a terminal with a prompt, where you'll want to type 1 to install NTT. Afterwards, press 4 to toggle Steam, and if all goes well, the terminal will disappear. At this point, you should have both Nuclear Throne Together and Nuclear Throne in the same folder directory. I personally suggest that you right-click and pin Nuclear Throne to your desktop's taskbar, since I like to access NTT through that and then have the original Nuclear Throne accessible through the Steam library. Either way, clicking on Nuclear Throne Together.exe will boot up the NTT version of the game. You can now play Nuclear Throne Together with a friend. To do this, go to Co-op, host public or private game, and click Invite Players, and a Steam friend invite will pop up and things can rock and roll from there. There is more to NTT though than just playing online multiplayer. It's actually the most recommended and highly suggested way to add and play mods for Nuclear Throne. Let's go through exactly how to do that next. First, visit this URL, which you can also find in the description of this video. And go to a mod that you would like to install. Let's start off with my favorite mod called Debug Mod. I'm going to go to that page and download it. Afterwards, I'll click and drag and drop the file into the directory Common Nuclear Throne Mods. Once you've placed that mod into that folder, to load it up, you've got some options. Let's go over the most simple and manual method first. You can load this debug mod manually by starting up NTT and going to the campfire screen, and then pressing T to type, and then type /load mod space debug. And then press enter to confirm. Once done, you'll see some text overlaid on the screen indicating that your mod has been successfully loaded. To demonstrate what the debug mod does, we now have terminal commands that you can type which have certain effects. For example, you can spawn in any number of weapon chests. Just make sure that you're typing in the right commands. The debug mod page itself has details about the various things that you can do. But this manual method of loading in mods might get a little annoying if you have several mods you want to load up as defaults when starting up NTT. So here's a way of automatically loading mods into Nuclear Throne together. First, make a text file in Common Nuclear Throne. Have this text file named startup.txt. In that text file, you can add the same commands that you typed in manually at the campfire screen, just like here. Now, as you can see, when we start up the game again, there's that same text displayed about things being loaded in automatically, which in our example here include automatically loading in debug mod. So that's the basic bread and butter. But let's show off a couple other things that you can do with mods. Let's go back to the startup.txt file and add this text. /gml space game underscore set underscore size paren 426, 240 et paren. So that the file looks like this. And load back up Nuclear Throne together. Now the aspect ratio is full width to your widescreen computer monitor. Pretty cool, right? But let's not stop here and do something a little bit more advanced. Let's go back to the available mods from Nuclear Throne together and let's download Nuclear Throne 3D mod. To do this, we're going to do the same exact thing that we did before. We'll go to the mod page and then download it here. Open up our downloads and then unzip the files. As you can see, this mod isn't just a single file, but it's a bunch of files contained in a folder. So let's move that entire folder into the mods folder just as we did with the prior mod. And then afterwards, let's go back to our startup.txt file and add this text. /load text space nt3d. This command, load text, will load mod folders for you, and we're using it to load the Nuclear Throne 3D mod. Let's demo this working by booting back up NTT. And there you go. Now we are playing Nuclear Throne 3D. So, to sum up and recap this how to mod Nuclear Throne section, you need to download Nuclear Throne together and then get it up and running. Afterwards, download a specific mod for NTT and put it in the mods folder. Finally, type out a command or have a startup.txt file set up to load your downloaded mod into the game. And that's basically it. Which brings us to the end of our comprehensive guide on Nuclear Throne. If it wasn't already on your radar, I genuinely hope that you check out Nuclear Throne. It's an amazing game. And if you already knew about it, I hope that you learned something new, or at the very least were just entertained. The fact that you made it to the end when you could have been watching videos of cats, or muscle mommies, or sexy vampires, or whatever the hell the algorithm is throwing at you these days means a lot. So seriously, thank you. I'm Jellyfish, and I'll catch you later.